guys, welcome to a new weekly reading vlog. So today is Sunday and this morning I had a cozy morning in bed. I was watching some YouTube videos, a lot of fall content, and because of that I have been in a great fall mood. I just want to do all of the fall things and read all of the fall books. I have been in a spookier mood as far as reading goes, which is why this morning I decided to start reading Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. So this is the third and final book in the Cassidy Blake series. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, so that's why I'm saying it's a final book. This is what I've heard people say. I'm a little bit sad to hear that this is a final book in the series, but I'm very much looking forward to it, especially because this one takes place in New Orleans. I started reading it this morning as I was saying, and I'm currently on page 64. So far I am loving the spooky vibes, but especially the setting. I have not read a lot of books that takes place in New Orleans, so I'm really loving this one. If you guys have any recommendations for more books that are set in New Orleans, I would love to know. But yeah, this is great so far. I'm looking forward to reading it. I feel like I could finish it in one day because I'm already on page 64, and this series has been really quick reads for me. I read the first book in one day. I read the sequel in the last vlog quite quickly, and I feel like this could be the same with this one. So we'll try to finish it today, but we won't push it if I'm not feeling it. But yeah, this is what we have decided to start. Also, as far as reading updates go, I have also started reading A Lesson in Vengeance by Victoria Lee. I started this last night and I read the first 25 pages. To be honest, I wasn't really vibing with it yesterday, and I don't know if it's because of me. I was kind of tired. I had a drink, which usually puts me to sleep, and because I was super tired, I feel like I didn't really give this book a fair shot, and that might just be why I wasn't really vibing with it yesterday. But I wasn't really feeling it, and since I was in a spooky mood and these two books are probably the only two options on my physical TBR, I decided to go with Bridge of Souls just because I felt like this would be a quick and easy read to get me on track with my reading. I don't even know what I'm saying. I have been in a great reading mood recently, and to be honest, I want to read all of the things, but I feel like I don't own the things that I want to read, if that makes sense. I'm seeing a lot of book recommendations go around because of the spooky season, and I want to buy all the books, and I'm I can't buy more books. I already have nearly 100 unread books on my shelves. I don't want to be buying more, but I've been in a mood for dark romances, and when I say dark romance, I don't mean dark romance the way that the romance people say. I kind of am in the mood for darker romance reads, whether that be fantasy, paranormal, or just non-contemporary. I don't know why, or even it could be contemporary, but I want something a little bit more grim, a little bit more dark, and I have my eye on a couple of them, so I might be purchasing a couple of them just because I've been in the mood for them, and I don't know, I kind of want to give them a try. We'll see. Anyway, I will keep you guys updated on that front. Right now, I think I'm going to go and read some of Bridge of Souls. I would love to read, to be at least halfway through. I do have to edit a video, or at least get started editing a video today, so I will read a little bit of that and then do a little bit of editing. Maybe I'll alternate between reading and editing. We need to do some YouTube things because we have a long weekend, so I am trying to mix business and pleasure, meaning that I'm trying to read as much as I can, but also to get some things done so that I don't get overwhelmed during the work week, because I have a feeling that next week is going to be one hell of a week. Anyway, I feel like this intro is long enough already, so I'm just gonna go and read, and hopefully read as much as I can of Bridge of Souls. Also, this morning I was burning this candle, and it is one of the best purchases that I have ever made. This is the Everyday Luxe White Pumpkin soy blend candle, and oh my god, I am in love because it has a wooden wick, and I don't know if I have included it in the vlog, but it makes the best sound. Oh my god, I am obsessed, and it smells so freaking good. So if you guys don't have a wooden wick candle, I would highly recommend them. They're so cozy. I had to stop myself from burning it because I wanted to keep enjoying it throughout the fall season, but wow, am I not regretting this purchase. Alright, it is much later. It's about 8 p.m. and I have finished reading Bridge of Souls by Victoria Schwab. So I did manage to finish this book in one day as I had planned, and I really like this one. I'm kind of bittersweet because I feel like this is the last one. I think that's what I've heard people say at the very least. I hope there will be more books in the series, but I don't think it has been announced. I don't know if the author has confirmed that this is the last book in the series, but anyway, I've been watching some reading sprints on and off like throughout the evening, and it has helped me read quite a bit. So I'm really happy. I've been really enjoying reading sprints lately, so like yeah, maybe I will make my own one day. I don't know if that's something that you guys would be interested in, but anyway, all of this to say I really like this one. I'm giving it a 4 to 5 stars. I don't know if it's my favorite one in the series or not. Like, I like them all equally, I'd say. This one, my only complaint with it is that I feel like everything happened way too quickly. I wanted more time to like digest the story, and I feel like everything just happened in the blink of an eye, and I just wanted to savor this a little bit more. But other than that, like, I really liked it. I loved the setting of this, and like I said, I would love to read more books that are set in New Orleans because I think they're just like perfectly spooky. Like, it's the perfect mix between the spooky side of things and like a more, I don't know, like hot and warm atmosphere. So yeah, I really like this one, and I'm kind of sad that this is the last book in the series, but that means that we have read another book this week. Well, it's the first book of the week, but like this month, it's probably my 4th or 5th book that I've read this month, which I'm quite happy with. Right now, I am kind of in a mood for a romance, as I mentioned earlier in this vlog, and the only one on my reading list for now, at the very least, is Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert. I was kind of keeping it for Camp Weekend Ween, which is happening at the end of October, but I'm in the mood for a romance now, and like it's the only one on my fall reading list, so I might as well just read that one. It's supposedly very short. I just purchased the ebook, and Kobo says that it's supposed to be read in like 2 or 3 hours, so I have a feeling I'll be able to finish that one quite quickly. I might even be able to finish it tonight depending on when I decide to go to bed. We're gonna read this, and I might make an order for like some more like fantasy and like darker romances. I'm just in the mood for that recently, and I don't have any on my shelves, so we're probably gonna order some books as well. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, I haven't decided, but we'll try to read what I have first before I go further and like buy more books. But I think right now I'm gonna pick up my book. I am watching some reading sprints.
I finished Bridge of Souls, by B. Schwab, or Victoria Schwab.
So it is Monday, and I had such an incredible day off from work. So it's currently like 6 p.m. but I just took today to really take care of myself, if that makes sense. Like, I spent the morning in bed, finished reading Mating the Huntress by Talia Hibbert, which I gave it 3 out of 5 stars to. It was such a fun read. It was my first paranormal romance. The only reason why I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 stars is that it felt a little insta-lovey, but given the length of the book, it makes sense that it would be insta-love, but it was fun nonetheless. I laughed out loud several times as well, and I love Talia Hibbert. So if you're looking for like a fun, quick and easy Halloween romance, this one's great. Aside from that, I also went on a walk with my friend. We grabbed ourselves like pumpkin spice lattes, which I was waiting to get. Like, I usually get one every fall, at least one, and I hadn't gotten the opportunity to go to Starbucks and get one, so I was really happy. It's basically like fall in a cup. I love it. I went to Starbucks, we walked around the lake. It was such a beautiful day outside, and I really enjoyed our walk. Then I came home, finished editing a video, which I really needed to do, and then I spent the rest of my afternoon reading The Appeal by Janice Allett. So I decided to start this one on a whim. Don't really know why, but I was kind of gravitating towards this one. So this is what I decided to read, and I'll be honest, so far it's a little bit confusing. I don't really know how to explain the plot of this book, so I think the best way for me to explain it would be to read you the synopsis that's on the back of the book. So it says, there is a mystery to solve in the small town of Lockwood. It starts with the arrival of two secretive newcomers and ends with a tragic death. Roderick Tanner QC has assigned law students Charlotte and Femi to the case. Someone has already been sent to prison for murder, but he suspects that they are innocent, and that far darker secrets have yet to be revealed. Throughout the amateur dramatics? I don't know. Society's disastrous staging of All My Sons and the shady charity appeal for little girls' medical treatment, the murderer hid in plain sight. Will Charlotte and Femi solve the case? Will you? So this is told almost exclusively in mixed media format, and because of that I find it to be a little confusing. It's mostly emails, a couple of like text messages or like I guess DMs or chat between some people, but for the most part it's told through emails. And at first it was really hard to differentiate all of the characters because there are a lot. It says on the cover 15 suspects, so there's a lot of people at play here, and it's kind of confusing sometimes, especially at first. Now that I'm 100 pages in, I'm on page 102, I'm starting to recognize all of the characters and like I can remember who's who and how they're connected, but at first it was really confusing and I just didn't really know what was going on. I'm still a little confused as to what's happening right now because honestly not much has really happened. All of the information that we're getting right now is important in order to uncover the truth, but because I'm kind of in the dark and there's no like narrative to the story, like regular narrative I would say, I just don't really know what I'm reading. I'm like, okay, but what else? The murder has not happened, like nothing has really happened yet. It's all about like small town life. Right now, like I said, it's 6 p.m. so I'm just probably gonna spend my evening reading because I've done everything that I needed to do like in terms of YouTube and whatnot. So I'm gonna try to read as much of this as I can. I feel like because of the mixed media format, I could finish this quite quickly even though it is 450 almost pages. I'm gonna focus on reading this for the rest of my evening. Happy Wednesday. I am on my lunch break. I am waiting for my lunch to cool down a bit because it's a little bit too hot. But I am also going to try to finish reading The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I am currently on page 344, and to be honest, it's kind of hard for me to talk about this book because it's so confusing since most of the book is told through emails and like correspondence between all of the people in this small town. It's just very confusing. It's easy for me to lose track of where I'm at in the story. It's been an experience to say the least. I don't know if I like it or if I hate it. It's very engaging, like easy for me to read, but it's hard for me to get back into after I've put the book down. So I don't really know what to think, but the part where I'm at, I have about 100 pages left to read, and the last 150 pages are basically like the theories that the two law students that have been tasked with like discovering who the real murderer is. It's like their document, and they are exposing all of their theories. So we already have had all of the evidence, so we've been exposed to everything that they know, but now we're reading like their theories about like who's done this and what's going on with this small town, because something like sketchy is happening. We just don't know what exactly, because everyone is a suspect for something. To be honest, I don't know if like the last part is making me more confused or if it's helping me understand what I've read. I feel like there are some of their theories that I had not even like imagined, so it's interesting to read because I just hadn't noticed the same elements that they had, so it's interesting to see. But also sometimes I'm just like, wait, what? Did I really read this? It's making me very confused. But as a whole, it's an interesting narrative and it's an interesting way of telling the story. I just don't know if I like it or not yet. And I'm almost done with it. But I will say it's very gripping. Like I've read most of it last night and I just couldn't put it down because, like I said, if I put it down and try to pick it back up, it was so confusing. It's a really easy read, I'd say, as far as like the formatting goes. It's just kind of confusing because there's a lot of things happening at once, and we're reading the correspondence of like a lot of people, but some people who are like key players in this mystery, we don't see anything from their perspective. So we're reading from a lot of people's point of view, but we're not reading from them. This would be important information to get. Anyway, right now I'm gonna read my book, have my lunch, and then we're gonna get back to work. Alright, so it is now much later. It's about 8 p.m. Yes, and I have a couple of updates for you guys. So first and foremost, I finished reading The Appeal by Janice Hallett. And wow, this book was a mindfuck. Like, honestly, I have finished reading this and I'm still kind of confused about what happened and everything. I think the format works well if you're like paying close attention, but as a whole, I think this would have benefited from being like told from a regular narrative. I don't know how to explain this, but I feel like the correspondence and just the format just made it hard for me to follow. And since there are a lot of layers to this story, like so many things that I had not picked up on. And I think like this is a kind of book that I would have appreciated, well, that I will appreciate more upon a second read. But yeah, I think because of like the many layers of the story and the fact that this is told so lightly from like emails and whatnot, I think this would have been easier to comprehend if I had read like a regular book. So I'm trying to do like quotation marks. But yeah, I feel like this format just wasn't the best for me. I don't really know how to rate this. So on Goodreads, I decided not to rate it because I honestly don't know how to do this. I enjoyed it, but it was so confusing. And like even now, I'm like, I get the ending. I liked where it went and I liked what it did. And yeah, I can appreciate like the work and the thought that went into this, but I just think the format just wasn't the best for me per se. Personally, I just found it really hard to follow. Maybe I would have liked the audiobook. I don't know. I'm just trying to see like what went wrong with this for me, and I think it's the format, unfortunately. I love a mixed media, but in this case, there was too many things happening, too much info, and I feel like I couldn't really wrap my mind around everything. But nonetheless, it's a good story. I would recommend it if you're looking for something like that's gripping and that will keep you on your toes and that will keep you guessing, but like be prepared to be confused like 90% of the time, because this is what happened to me. Anyway, yeah, finished the book, which I'm really happy about. Also, I realized that yesterday I forgot to tell you that I started reading Bridesmaids by Sydney Smith. The cover will be here. It's an audiobook from Audible, and I was listening to that while I was walking on the treadmill yesterday because I went to the gym and I was just not feeling like working out per se. Like I wanted to move my body, but I wasn't feeling like doing a really hard workout. So I just decided to walk on the treadmill and I listened to a big chunk of the audiobook. I think I only have 2 chapters left. So far, really enjoying this. It's a short story about a man who's coming home for his best friend's wedding, and his high school's crush is also there, and like there are feelings that are left unresolved. And yeah, it's fun. I'm liking it so far. It made me laugh, smile, and just like I really like this so far. I'm gonna try to finish this probably in the upcoming days because that was nice. But I also started watching Squid Game on Netflix, and oh my god, I only watched the first episode, but I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm gonna try to pace myself and watch like 1 episode a day, because if I watch multiple, I just know I won't get anything done. So I have started watching that, but I also wanted to update you on some book mail. I have received one of the books that I ordered, and it's from Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I was saying earlier this week how I wanted to get some darker romances, and this is one of the ones that I decided to go for. It's a fantasy romance. I think that involves like vampires, werewolves, and whatnot. I don't really know. I just know that it has vampires, but I know it's very hyped. I know a lot of people love this series, so I decided to give it a try. I wasn't initially going to read this at all when it came out. I just was not interested, but I don't know. I'm kind of into it. I think I'm actually going to start reading this tonight because I am kind of in the mood for a romance, and I think this would be great for this time of year. I could finish my audiobook, but I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood for physical reading, so we're going to start this. I'm going to read like a chapter or 2 at the very least to give this a try, see if I'm in the mood for it. One of the things that really surprised me is how long this book is. Like, I'm sorry if you can't really see. I feel like my camera is not focusing anymore, but like 600 pages. This is a fucking brick. I was unboxing this earlier on and I was like, man, this is heavy, and it really is. So hopefully I like this, and yeah, I'm excited to give this a try. Hello! I don't know why I did that with my hand, but anyway, hi, it is a Friday. I'm on my lunch break, and I thought I would give you guys an update because I feel like I haven't really vlogged this week. So I am about halfway through From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I'm on page 266. And so far, I was going into it because I wanted a romance, and this is more fantasy than romance, or like it's a very slow burn romance, because there has been like one romantic like steamy interaction at the beginning of the book, and even then, like, it wasn't that steamy. Not much has really happened in terms of like the romantic plot, but I am enjoying this. It is very hard to get into, I'll be honest. I feel like it was kind of confusing at first because the author just dropped us off in this world and like expects us to understand everything about it, and I feel like the world building is not that well explained. Like, I still have a lot of questions about, I'm about halfway, and I still have a lot of questions about how this world works. There are terms that have been thrown around and I have no idea what they mean. I'm missing some info to like fully enjoy this, though I'll be honest, I'm not that much of a fantasy reader anymore, so that might be just me not being used to like not knowing everything about a world while I'm reading a book. But I am enjoying it. My favorite part of this book is definitely Ock. Is that how you pronounce his name? The love interest. I love him. I love the relationship that he has with Poppy, and I am looking forward to seeing that develop over the course of this book. I am liking this, but it's not like blowing my mind away. Like, I can see why people would like this, but at the same time I just don't get the hype so far. I'm just like, okay, it's decent, but it's not incredible. But anyway, I'm having fun reading this, and hopefully I will continue to make some progress. I read for like a good 2 or 3 hours last night. Like, I couldn't put this book down, so I guess this is kind of good. Anyway, I also have some book mail to share, so I'm gonna unbox this for you guys. All right, so I have received the rest of like my romance order that I did earlier this week, and this one is coming from Amazon because they are self-published, I think, for the most part. So let's see what I have in here. So first I have A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. I think this one is like quite popular on Book Talk and it has made the rounds. It's a trilogy, I think, and it's a Persephone and Hades retelling, and this one is considered a dark romance, I believe. So I'm excited to give this one a try because I've heard a lot of people talk about it. And the second one that I have is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. This one I've seen a lot of people recently on Goodreads talk about it, and it's a Peter Pan retelling in which like the villain gets its happy ending. So it's all about Hook, and it's a contemporary romance, I believe. I believe this is also going to be a whole series in which like the villains from our fairy tales, like the most popular ones, are going to get their happily ever after. It's called the Never After series, and so I'm excited because you guys know I love anything fairy tale retelling, especially if there's a Disney connection. So I am really looking forward to reading this. So yeah, that was my little unboxing. I am quite excited to get to these titles because I've heard so many people talk about them, and I'm intrigued, to be honest. I feel like I haven't read a good, like, not rom-com-y romance in a while because I tend to read a lot of rom-coms, so reading something different has been interesting so far with From Blood and Ash and now with these two dark romances. But now it is lunchtime, so I'm gonna go grab something to eat and then maybe read during the remainder of my lunch break. We'll see if I have time, and then we'll have to get back to work. Hello, it is Saturday, and wow, okay, my hair is really curly. I'm trying out this new curling product in my hair and it's working out great. Like, wow, this haircut has really like revived my curls. Honestly, I think I needed that. Anyway, I have not been making that much progress with From Blood and Ash since I have last updated you. I'm currently on page like 412, which means that I read a little bit. I read a little bit this morning, I read a little bit yesterday during my lunch break, but I have not really been making that much progress with it. The main reason why is that I've been binging Squid Game, but today that's gonna change because we have a rainy Saturday. I don't have anything planned. I might do some editing, but for the most part, my day is going to be dedicated to reading. I don't know if I can finish this today. I would like to finish it in this vlog. I think that would be great, but I don't know if I can because I have about 200 pages left of this to read. While this is a quick read and I'm still enjoying my reading experience, I just don't really know how feasible it would be for me to finish this book in like the rest of the day. So I'll try to read as much of this as I can, though I might not be able to finish this. If I don't manage to finish this one, I would like to maybe finish my audiobook, which was Bridesmaids by Sydney Smith. So we'll see. Either one of the or the other I'll try to finish. Right now I am watching some YouTube videos. I might alternate and like run some little reading sprints for myself, meaning that I read for a certain amount of time and then I watch a YouTube video and then so on and so forth. So yeah, that's gonna be my day, I think. A cozy day of reading. I love fall, especially because of like those types of days. So hopefully I'll manage to get a lot of progress in, and yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop talking and get to reading because we do have 200 pages left of this book to power through in order to finish it. Hey guys, so it's the next day and I was about to start the next weekly reading vlog, but I just wanted to wrap up this one first. You may hear my candle in the background. It's like right next to my camera, so yeah, it's a wooden wick candle, so you might be hearing that. I am apologize if it's distracting. If not, it just provides some great ASMR. But the reason why I wanted to update you guys is because I finished reading From Blood and Ash last night. And wow, this was a wild ride. I decided to give this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I rounded it up to a 4 stars on Goodreads, but like quite frankly it's probably more of a 3.5. Overall I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun read, though I have a hard time believing that this won best romance because quite frankly there's not that much romance in it. Like towards the end it becomes more prominent, but it's not what drives the plot throughout the entire book. So I'm surprised that it won best romance, but I mean the romance was good. I did guess the big plot twist like towards the end. My 2 theories were right, so not only was the first one right but the second one as well. So I wasn't necessarily surprised by the ending. I was expecting it, like I saw it coming, but I did like the way that it was done, and I am really curious to read on with the rest of the series. I feel like it's going to become a lot more fun going forward. But yeah, overall it's a fun one and I would recommend it if you guys are looking for a fantasy romance. If you're not a big romance reader but you like fantasy and you want to get into romance a bit, I think this could be a good starting point. As someone who was reading it for the romance aspect, I was a little bit let down. Nonetheless, like the romance delivered, but the fantasy part was really like what drove the story forward. It's more of a high fantasy book than it is a romance in my opinion. Maybe the rest of the series is different, but like this first book is very much about the world building and Poppy's journey. But I did like it. I felt like the writing style was a little bit clunky at times, but it doesn't really matter to me. I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the series anyways. And yeah, I'm really glad that I finally gave this one a shot because it's been making the rounds on BookTube and just like Bookstagram and everywhere else really. Even my friends some of my friends have read it, and now that brings the reading vlog to an end. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you like this one and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!